Hey, boy.
Yo.
Welcome in on a Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
Free for all Friday. Thank you for joining us. We got a fun show. Have to take that off. This is like the most restrictive mask that I own. You can't breathe. You can't talk. It's ridiculous. But it is very patriotic, which I like.
Actually, cuts off circulation to the brain. That's true. Yeah, you can always go for that.
I did find that it hooks nicely, though, to the back of the headphones, which I enjoy. But thank you guys again for joining us.
That's good.
Huge weekend in sports. We're getting damn close to the MLB playoffs. We've got NHL Finals are now set. That's getting ready to kick off. NBA Conference Finals are in motion now with the Western Conference starting tonight. That game, I think, is at halftime. At least last time I saw the score. Yeah. We'll touch on that a little bit too. But, of course, the U.S. Open. Got a UFC fight night. NASCAR playoffs continue. I mean, what's not to love? We got Premier League, whatever you want.
It's a smorgasbord, man.
A smorgasbord. But Tyler, how are you doing on this fine Friday evening?
Doing good. Looking forward to the sports weekend. I'm sure you can tell a little bit different backdrop for me. I am house/dog sitting for a friend, and they have air conditioning and a very nice house. So I'm actually happy to help out at all times. I was going to try to do this outside just to do a real change of scenery, but it's kind of hot and muggy, and I'm like, you know what? They have air conditioning as Mother Nature intended it. So
you can join me out here in the elements.
No, I don't get to sit in air conditioning often, so I'm happy with it.
At you.
But Ronnie, how you doing today?
I am unwell. To borrow, paraphrase a friend of the program, Josh, aka Dale, from the What's on the Menu crew. A little bit of an awkward situation earlier today, and I'm just going to come clean and admit what happened. As you know, I sleep at the Y. No, I work at a bank, and a gentleman walks up to me, just putting his tax refund check in the bank. No big deal, pretty easy transaction. We're doing the thing, just kind of small talking. I see his name pops up on the screen after he takes his card out, Randy Carlisle. I was like, oh, okay.
We both know that name.
Yes. And just sort of, making small talk, just trying to, it's Friday, it's very busy, so this is an easy one, cool. This could take like a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe.
Sure.
And just kind of, start off with the classic, oh, you got your tax refund, that's nice, get some money back, blah, blah, blah. And looking back at the name, this is where it all went wrong, because I should have just stared him down straight in the face. But I casually mentioned to him, it's Encinitas, it's not some kind of hockey Uber hotbed.
Right.
So just sort of throw out, there was a long-time, coach and player in the NHL named Randy Carlisle. He was actually the coach of the Ducks. That's my favorite team.
They won the Stanley Cup when he was coaching there. What a coincidence.
He, he's polite. He's like, oh, yeah, I didn't really react to that at all. So I felt like he was maybe not a hockey fan, just sort of conversation was tapering off. And I believe I actually did say he was a guy in hockey for a long time. So we're done. Give him the receipt. He walks out. For one reason or another, I have to go back and look, pull up his account profile later on just for a second. Come to find out, it was actually Randy Carlisle.
Randy Carlisle.
I was trying to explain Randy Carlisle to Randy Carlisle. He was too polite to correct me, but I'm sure he is trashing me to all of his friends and family right now. Randy, I just want to say I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well, we know he's watching, so.
Friend of the program, Randy Carlisle.
Yeah.
He took us to the promised land as Ducks fans.
That's right.
Played, I have to bring this up. I already have it, so I'm gonna wear it. It sucks. This is one of the lowest moments of my life. There, you see him literally holding the Stanley Cup.
Holding the cup in 07.
As the coach of the Ducks. And, of course, also played 1,000 games in the NHL. Sweet hockey hair. I don't know who this league official is, but the NHL awards were a lot more, low profile back then. And I think this was like 1981. But he did win the Norris Trophy, the best defenseman in hockey.
It's a big deal.
So not exactly a lightweight, but I totally ghosted out. I was telling Tyler, I wasn't disappointed that I didn't have, that just like, oh man, you're Randy Carlisle. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I'm just more deathly embarrassed that I literally tried to tell the guy about a guy that was the guy and is still alive, very much alive. And I ended that interaction with, he was a guy in hockey. And
oh my God.
that was the guy. So, if, I curl up in a little ball in the fetal position and cry before the show's over, you know where I'm coming from. But that was devastating.
It could have been a lot worse. At least you didn't, say something like, God, the only reason I'm glad they rehired him a couple years ago was so they could fire him all over again. Like, at least you didn't say something like that.
I mean, like I said, he's a polite Canadian gentleman.
Of course.
He's a man of peace now, comfortably retired, living his best life. I mean, I don't know if he would entertain job offers. In my defense, everyone's wearing a mask, and he did have a little gray beard going, which
he never had as a coach.
Ever seen him clean shaven? You could see there and there, no beard.
Yep.
But I'm upset. I am. I don't know if I could bounce back from this one because literally the most winning coach in Ducks history.
Yeah.
And didn't even
took the Ducks to the playoffs so many years.
Didn't even pick them out. Just honestly, and then doubled down on my stupidity by saying, "Hey, there was a guy with your same name." Has anyone ever told you that?
Whatever happened to that guy?
So yeah,
wow.
That's where I'm coming from. But hey, good weekend in sports coming up.
There we go. That'll make up for it, right?
We'll power through. Heart of a champion, no excuses. Please come back to the bank, Randy. I want to make things right. I'm from the beginning, from the jump. I'm a Ducks fan.
Yeah, you're right. He led our favorite team to the promised land. You and I went to the home opener after they won the Stanley Cup and got those little rings that they gave out.
Get you one of these. Boys gonna win state.
That'd be great if you were wearing that. If you just for some reason wore that around and you're like, man, he coached my favorite team. Like they got a ring. You see this?
I need to get it back first of all because I do still have it, not in my possession here, but I have it locked away somewhere in random knickknacks and things.
In a lockbox in another country.
Yeah, it's in a vault in a safe deposit box at a different bank. But I'm gonna start wearing that to work every day, just hoping that he comes in.
Because then he'll flash the real ring to you, maybe if you
drop to my knees and apologize,
beg for forgiveness.
Yeah. Yes. I'm so upset about that. And tonight I was talking to her on the phone when I was driving home from work. She had a little bit of an embarrassing moment, and I was like, "Well, funny you should mention that because it wasn't like a public embarrassment, shaming thing. It was just my soul trying to leave my body as I died inside because I realized what I had done. And damn it.
Yeah, I mean, when you had texted me about it earlier, I was concerned because all you said was you messed up at work, and I was like, oh God, don't tell me he did something to get fired. And then you told me the story, and I was like, oh, it might have been better if you got fired. Actually, that would have been less embarrassing.
I wish I was.
Yeah, it might have been less embarrassing if you got fired.
All right, Randy,
bring it back.
I still love you. Hopefully
pull it together.
Cross paths again, and we'll sort this whole thing out. We'll look back and laugh one day.
They laughed at me.
No, when we're playing Torrey Pines, smoking cigars, doing whatever, after we become old friends, then we'll look back and laugh. But for now, I'm sure he went home to his wife and was like, "Yeah, it was really weird at the bank. Like some guy was trying to explain me to me, and I don't think he knew it was me." So that's going to be going on for who knows how long in Randy's world, but awesome.
True.
Let's check in with the comments real quick, too. We have Will coming in. Ron's a scratch golfer. Okay, Will. I mean, I appreciate that.
Okay.
I did, kind of whip up on you guys last night at Mission Bay, but not exactly wing foot or, even a challenging course, I would say. But yes, I will take credit for the win. And nice little
Don't let Ronnie fool you. He's trying to get into rounds with anybody that's watching and, lay some money on it.
Yeah, once the money comes out, who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
But nice little transition there. So thank you, Will. Over to the U.S. Open. We just wrapped up the Friday rounds, and the weekend, as always, at the U.S. Open promises to be diabolical as the weather gets worse.
Yep.
Pin positions get much harder, and greens just keep drying out. But here's the leaderboard. Patrick Reed in first place, -4, kind of disappointing for a U.S. Open score, but I think that's going to go up over the weekend. Our guy, Modesto's favorite son, Bryson DeChambeau's in second place. Yep. I would like to see him get in there and do some damage, maybe even mess around and win this thing, just because he is so ridiculous and such a polarizing figure on the tour. He gave us this.
Boy's built. He's a unit.
Yeah. The look back in disbelief.
Just snapping his club head. God.
Just what a tank. What a solid lug of a man.
Just a unit. That's it, man.
And despite his claim that
I got some abs.
Did your abs break the club, Bryson? I doubt it. Did you just flex your abs and break the club? No. But that's still my boy. I got to root, Valley Strong. That's my guy. Mm-hmm. And other news as far as the betting world is concerned, Tiger did not make the cut.
He did not.
Bill did not make the cut, which is especially upsetting because we talked about it a little bit on the show, but someone placed $45,000 on Phil to win. That would have paid out $3.3 million.
Ooh.
And Phil even acknowledged it. At first, my theory was it was Phil because we know he does love to gamble.
He loves it.
He didn't make the cut, so if he was the better, then really wasn't trying that hard. So that's unfortunate for him. But the better actually did come out, the guy that won $1.2 million on Tiger at the 2019 Masters. So this guy is a go-getter when it comes to these golf bets. Also, you could see in the first tweet, the second largest golf bet liability in the history of William Hill, laying that bet on Phil. So shout out to that guy. Tyler and I both agree it's one of those let it ride moments. You're the best I've ever seen.
Yep. I'll tell my grandkids about you.
I'll tell my grandchildren about you.
So again, Phil not making the cut, Tiger not making the cut, Jordan Spieth not making the cut. Definitely, some big names that people still expect to, at least be there on Saturday and Sunday, not making it. But like you said, you showed the scoreboard. I mean, we got Patrick Reed up there, DeChambeau's right behind him, Justin Thomas right behind him. A couple other guys that are, in the plus scores, Bubba Watson, Rory McIlroy, and Dustin Johnson, all with scores up there. So, and like you said, it's, with most of the majors, it definitely gets harder as it goes along, especially they're at Winged Foot, they're out there in New York. And so the weather could turn kind of a little bit worse at any moment. Could make for some entertaining golf this weekend, I think.
Yeah, the weekend, rounds of the U.S. Open are always great because they just make it so ridiculously hard. And this actually came out during the practice rounds. Tyler and I both saw this video. I wanted to share this with you. This is what they do to the greens. And this is pretty standard for any U.S. Open. So I'm really excited. Hopefully, somehow, some way, get to make it out to Torrey to see some of it next year in person. Because as people, have described it, it's like diabolical what they do to these courses. But this was, I don't even know if it's a practice green or just maybe they set it up the same as, the speed and everything they did to the regular greens. But this was, I want to say Wednesday that I saw this video on Instagram. And just check out like the action on some of these greens. So this is pretty much what happens if you miss a putt here.
Not saying this is mad, but I'll be seeing you. This green is, what is it? .40 yards long. Ball's gone to the back edge. Jack Gracie, coming past you, coming off the front.
So that's what you're dealing with at the U.S. Open. And I know the players always complain, which is kind of one of the joys, that the course is too hard, it's unfair. I know the head groundskeeper, when they interviewed him a week or two before the tournament, he said he felt like +8 would be a winning score. So that just tells you what he had in mind for, these are literally the best golfers in the world. And there was a little bit of headbutting actually going on because, there you go, Steve Rabideau, that's the guy, the head of the grounds. USGA was telling him it's too hard, and they were trying to walk some of this back and have him, soften it up a little bit. He was obviously livid, as you see here in all caps. And from what I've heard, they've kind of deferred back and just let the Wingfoot crew do what they're going to do as far as making that course diabolical.
Yes.
So I say that's the best part about the U.S. Open. I want to see guys just melt down, or putts that just roll, like that one that just rolled 40 yards down the other way, off the green almost. Weird things like that. And then, when the weather comes in, who knows what's going to happen. But I don't think you should be -4 like we're seeing right now on the leaderboard and winning the U.S. Open. I think we will see the scores rise. But the other thing that Tyler pointed out to me the other day that I saw the video, but I can't play it for you guys, but I just want to point this out just to kind of hammer this point home, is Zach Johnson. All right, you see him lining up the putt here, and I could just do this in a sequence of screenshots. So that's where he starts the putt. All right, now it's rolling out. You think, oh no.
He's way overshot it. Look at that.
What's he thinking? And that went in.
Oh, no, it's in. Okay, yeah.
So he rolled it out here, and then it came all the way back in and actually went in the cup. But that is the joy of the U.S. Open. They make it ridiculous, and I wouldn't say it's a train wreck, but it's just nice to see the best golfers also have to deal with it. It's kind of it's known as the hardest golf tournament. It is the hardest golf tournament. I mean, we saw the Memorial. That was a nice little bloodbath that we got to watch, and Jack Nicklaus with his sadistic Sunday pin placement. So hopefully we get another pin chart for the Sunday round from the PGA Communications, whatever, Twitter, and I'll have that for you guys on Monday. Just we'll see what the fallout is, but
I hope the holes aren't even on the green. Like they just put it somewhere else,
just right in the middle of a bunker.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Or out on a tiny little floating, I'm talking like a 2 foot by 2 foot floating island out in the middle of a pond.
Yeah, in the middle of a pond, there's just one of those red solo cups with a flag.
Yes,
perfect. That's actually the 15th hole.
Yeah.
So fire away. We could be here all night. How long it takes, I don't care.
Like you said, it's great to watch them struggle with what like I would struggle on a easy course. Like that's kind of what I do like seeing.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it was playing on the U.S. Open course, I played Torrey Pines, just set up for a PGA tour, and it sucked. It was like this is a joke, right? Like this is this is real.
Guys actually make these shots, huh? All right.
Yeah, and not playing from the tips or anywhere near it. I was playing essentially like the ladies' tees, and it was still like a disaster. It was impossibly hard. So the U.S. Open, I mean, that's what they do. They make you work for it. So looking forward to the weekend and catching as much of that as I can. But that's pretty much the little golf spot that we had for you. Oh, the other thing is, as we said, Phil didn't make it. Oh, I don't have the clip, but he did have a pretty funny clip on Twitter. You can go look it up where I didn't even know what hole he was on. I didn't get to watch it today because I was at work, not recognizing Randy Carlisle, as you know. But you just see him on the follow through, the look down in disgust, and under his breath, I'm so sick of this. So it will wear out the best. That's what we're here for.
True. Yeah, definitely love it.
Let's touch on the basketball right now. I'm going to get a score for you guys in the ongoing game, the Laker game. Looked like they had a comfortable lead, but against the Nuggets.
Is it really comfortable though?
Yeah,
is it comfortable?
It's only halftime, so maybe the Nuggets got you right where they want you. That kind of made me more nervous. But last night did have the Heat winning Game 2, another good game.
Yeah.
Of course, I was actually out golfing, whooping up on Will. Shout out to Will. But the Heat take Game 2, and I still when you see the 2-0, you just kind of feel like, next game could be do or die, whatever. I mean, yes, it's going to be big, but every game of this series just feels like that because they've just been close and both teams are just going for it. So I still think we're having a good series here, ahead of us. But nice win for the Heat. I mean, Jimmy Bucket's not messing around here.
Yeah, it was a great team win for them. That's kind of the thing that I really like about the Heat is, Jimmy Buckets is kind of their star, but it's definitely one of those teams where if he has a bad night or just needs to take the night off, it's not a big deal. He's perfectly fine with it. The rest of the team can step up. Bam Adebayo's been playing great all playoffs. Tyler Hero's been pretty awesome. So it's really a great team effort from the Heat. I mean, it was definitely a back and forth game. I mean, at one point in time, I think the Celtics were up pretty big, but then the last 9 minutes of the third quarter, the Heat went on a 32-10 run. Then the Celtics came out, opened up the fourth on a 17-5 run, but then the Heat closed down a 17-7 run. So it was definitely just kind of massive momentum shifts throughout the game. Again, the Heat able to come through, get the win, and go up 2-0. But like you said, it's even if the Heat go up 3-0, it's not it doesn't feel like a blowout. It doesn't feel like it will be over if they go up 3-0. It more feels like, well, they're gonna have to really work to win this game 4 because the Celtics are not just gonna lay down for them.
Yeah, and I mean the Heat they just seem like they're all on the same page right now. It's just that team. It kind of feels like a hockey team where it just clicks together. Yeah, they're a 5 seed, but they're probably the hottest team going right now, and they probably have been that team for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. All their starters were in double digits. Dragic had another big game. Adebayo had 21 and 10. I think he still had 4 assists too. Hero off the bench, just didn't really have a good night shooting the 3, but still 11 and 9. The Celtics still a good team. And, there was some rumors of discord within the locker room. Marcus Smart was upset. There was some kind of shouting, but I mean, I'm not writing them off. I think they're both
not at all
still capable of winning this whole thing, and I just really look forward to the rest of the series just to see what's going to happen. But beyond that, we do have some updates in the Big Face Coffee world, as you know.
Yeah.
We've been featuring it here. Jimmy Butler started his own little coffee startup business within the bubble. His agent said they were tunneling into the bubble to smuggle the beans in like El Chapo. So we had him just, pregame. Don't look at me. Focus on the coffee. But he has upgraded merchandise-wise because he now has some branding going on. He even got masks and looks like a tank top there. I mentioned this to Tyler. I love the fact that he also felt the need to include owner. Maybe just come up with a logo or something that people can identify with. But no, Big Face Coffee owner. And, of course, cup in hand. Always got to have the product placement there. I learned that from Bo. From Bo early on. You want to have good camera, presence, product placement. That is key.
That's right.
And he also had a little, looks like a jumpsuit put together. I don't know if I have that video here. I'm going to find it. But let me see here if I have it. Maybe I don't. But Big Face Coffee juggernaut just continues to roll on. So we'll see. Maybe he just walks away from the game entirely. Maybe coffee was his passion all along. It seems like he's more interested in that, even though he's on a death march of just trying to take everyone in his way out as far as winning these finals. He has really been working this coffee angle a lot. So I'm glad to see that, entrepreneurial spirit, even within the bubble. What else are you going to do? Might as well get a little small business going.
That's a good question. Maybe he's just using basketball to gain the capital to fund his coffee. Maybe that's all this is. Like
basketball is my job.
Yeah,
coffee. That's what I really want to do.
The coffee is the end game. Basketball is just the means towards it. So, but although there has been a little bit of a competition going up in the bubble here. Big Face Coffee is not the only merchant out there now. Now we've got the Little Face Coffee, which has opened up and opened its services to the people in the bubble.
You hate to see when these imitators come out, though. It's in LA, they have Tommy's with a Y and Tommy's with the IE, and then it's like, what's the real one? They both sell the same food, or all the like in San Diego, all the different insert name here, Berto's Mexican food, Gilberto's, Rigoberto's, Alberto's, like
Ronnie
Berto's. I'm working on that. Yeah. Hopefully, looking for a nice spot on, of course, University Avenue in City Heights, but and trying to work on a tie-in with the show, but we'll see. But I do, there's a lot of downtime here. I'm definitely team Big Face Coffee, but I would like to see him package the beans, sell them outside of the bubble, so I can really see what we're working with here. Because if I find out he's just been using like Folgers the whole time, I'm gonna be pissed.
That would actually be disheartening if we just found out like, oh yeah, he's using like some generic Folgers
and he's selling
or Starbucks
it for $25
or something.
a cup, cash only. So
yeah, but they're all rich.
They can profit margin on that.
They're all rich. They can afford it.
That's literally what he said.
Literally what he said. I know. Yeah,
everyone here can afford it.
I was quoting him on that.
I'm not changing the price. They can all afford it.
Yeah, I did see like some Little Face Coffee has opened up, offering $5 cups with free samples. So we'll see. We'll see. That might turn into a bloody turf war there in the bubble.
Yeah, we'd hate to see the coffee wars derail the Heat on their magical run right now. Jaime coming in. Shout out to Jaime. Coffee is a way of life. And Nick with his theory that Jimmy Butler has that Colombian connect. Jimmy Escobar.
I think so.
It certainly seems that way. He seems, for some reason, to be the only guy in the bubble that has coffee. I don't know if his agent actually came through with the tunnels. They might have to build a wall around the bubble at this point.
And make the coffee dealers pay for it?
Yeah, exactly. And just real quick on basketball, just to get an update here. This is the score last time I saw it, 94-74. Maybe I think Nick actually commented as well. Nuggets maybe gassed out. I'm not counting them out, just the way they played, especially 6-0 in potential elimination games so far in these playoffs. But there could be a little bit of an emotional letdown, just having to, charge back from down 3-1. But one game is one game, and shoot, they were down in all those games and they won. So I'm still not just writing them off.
Plus, what are the Lakers? I mean, the Lakers haven't won a game one yet this year. So what's going to happen now that they can rest on that 1-0 laurel? We'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see that or not. But encouraging to see that they came out in the second half and kind of kept their foot on the gas, especially only giving up 15. There was a minute left, a minute and a half, whatever, in the third quarter when I got this screenshot. But only 15 points. That's pretty good against a team like the Nuggets that can really fill it up. So. We'll see what happens there. If that game probably still be gone by the time we get off the air, but it looks like the Lakers are in a good spot right now.
And then just one other thing in basketball news that came out is that they did announce that the Milwaukee Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo did win the MVP award, which I've always kind of hated the timing because they always announce it like during the playoffs instead of right before the playoffs. Because then all you see is just people like, oh, well, this team's not even a championship. Like, dude, it's not a playoff award. Like,
it's a regular season.
Giannis was the MVP of the regular season. Like I would argue that to the death. I mean, I would absolutely listen to an argument for LeBron, but Ronnie, you made a good point kind of before we went on air. It's like, look what happens when Giannis was off the Bucks this year. They had that one win, but then after that they were awful. So
yeah, if you take him off of that team, and you're talking about the number one seed in the East, which as we can see has capable teams. Raptors, RIP, Heat, Celtics. It's not the walkover East that it used to be, so there's some good teams over there. And the Heat pretty much took him out when he was playing, just as far as taking him out of the scoring, disrupting all the things he likes to do. And you saw the team just kind of like tank, and then he was hurt, and they won a game without him. But still, I mean, if you take him off of that team, what happens? They're definitely not the number 1 seed. So I would say well-deserved MVP for Giannis there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's doing it with, mostly just role players. You can make the argument, look, LeBron's got AD. Granted, LeBron will be LeBron without AD. I mean, he still will. Would AD have the numbers he would without LeBron? Debatable. I mean, he's still really good, so debatable. I think Giannis, hands down, was the MVP of the regular season this year.
No question. I think that was kind of the rumor before. Back to Tyler's point, I don't know why they can't just announce these awards before the playoffs. It seems like then you just avoid all this, well, look what happened in the playoffs, like if they get knocked out, because the award is not based on that.
Right.
But it is what it is. I think pretty much everyone had him penciled in as the MVP anyway, and like I said, deserved win there for his second MVP. So shout out to the Greek Freak. I don't have the Donaldson video. I wanted to get it. We'll talk a little baseball here for a second. Josh Donaldson with one of the most spectacular sequences you'll ever see. He was mad at the umpire for a pitch that he didn't like the call on. Then in the next pitch hits a home run, and then doubles, triples, maybe even quadruples down as he rounds the bases, kicks dirt over home plate, says something to the umpire. The umpire throws him out. He comes back and just stomps on home plate. But what a way to go out. Home run and then hit the showers.
Yeah, I can't recall seeing anybody getting thrown out after a home run. That was wildly entertaining. I know the announcers were saying, before he hit the home run, their manager, Rocco Baldelli, had to, go out there and kind of calm him down and keep from getting ejected before his at-bat ended.
During the clip of the home run trot, the announcers are like, great job by Rocco Baldelli, just kind of talking him off the ledge, keeping him in this game, keeping his head in there. And then he just sprints towards getting ejected. It's like, no,
exactly.
I keep it real. When keeping it real goes wrong, that's Josh Donaldson.
Hey, Rocco Baldelli, Bakersfield Blaze legend, Rocco Baldelli.
Word.
But I would definitely recommend seeking that clip out. That's it's very entertaining. But baseball's kind of winding up this year. I think most teams only have about 8 or 9 games left. I think next Sunday is the last game of the regular season, or last day. Yeah. Which I was looking at the schedule, the Cardinals have double headers every day for 2 straight weeks to make up all their games.
Well, good, they should.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
like the first ones to have the outbreak.
Looks like barring any late outbreak, every team is going to get 60 games, even though some of them are 7-inning games. But it's they're heading towards the playoffs. Of course, they're going to have the expanded playoffs with all the higher seeds getting a home field advantage for the first round, best 2 out of 3 series, which anything can happen in those games. Then the AL will be going to LA and San Diego for the rest of their series. NL will go to Houston and Arlington for theirs, and the World Series will be in Arlington. So that's coming up pretty quickly here. This season just kind of it's definitely been a sprint. It's just kind of flown by.
And if anyone out there is listening that has this power, I don't have enough free time to do it, but I would love to see an MLB Bubble Life Twitter account. If we could start that up, I would definitely be in. I'd like to see some, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, hotel life, whatever goes on over there. So no travel days also. So I guess everyone's going to play every other day.
Right.
But someone, come on. I know you're out there. Hook us up with an MLB Bubble Life Twitter account, please.
That would
also,
be greatly appreciated.
Just a weird thing, speaking of San Diego, they're playing the Mariners tonight. It was supposed to be in Seattle. The air quality is too bad because of all the fires going on. So they're actually playing a Mariners as the home team in San Diego. And the Mariners Twitter did jump in with a nice little tweet there. They just, Microsoft Paint basically turned Petco into the Mariners home stadium there. I like the, this is high level graphic work here.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Space Needle, you got the Moose, the hastily scrawled T-Mobile.
If you hadn't said it, I would have guessed that was Safeco up in San Diego or in Seattle. I wouldn't have known that was Petco.
It's a mirror image. I mean, this is great work. This is top level Photoshop. or Microsoft Paint. I mean,
and of course, the terrifying giant moose peering over the outfield as well,
blocking out the San Diego skyline.
Yeah,
this giant moose will destroy us all. So if I get knocked off the air, it's because I got stomped on by a giant mascot moose.
It's because the giant moose is just terrorizing San Diego.
You'll just see one big fuzzy foot come down and crush me. I mean, I should have seen it coming. I kind of always knew it would end this way.
A fortune teller told me this when I was 5. This is how it would all end.
Yeah, there was a gypsy. She had one eye. She told me this. I kind of laughed it off at the time, but now it seems very real.
Other news that we had, we did have a pretty good NFL game last night. I know, kind of in our friends group chat, we were kind of all making fun of it going into it, as I'm sure a lot of people were. But the Browns were able to beat the Bengals 35-30. A pretty exciting game. The Browns just utilized their run game. I think both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb had over 100 yards, both 2 touchdowns each. Joe Burrow continuing to impress. He's looked good so far, although I did see a stat that so far in his 2 professional NFL games, he's been hit more than he was his entire year at LSU last year.
Which is to be expected. I mean,
yeah, the Bengals offensive line is not good. They're not good.
Life is tough for a first overall pick quarterback because you obviously are going to the worst team in the league.
Going to a very bad team, yes.
Yeah.
But no, it was a very entertaining game, I thought.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of going to be what the Browns are going to have to do going forward, as far as just really hope that running game takes over. You do have, Kareem Hunt, he's not dead yet. He was like a world beater when he was on the Chiefs, and then you have Chubb as well. So if those guys can keep it rolling, it takes a lot of pressure off Baker. Obviously, they do have the deep threats, Landry, Beckham. I mean, the offense.
Beckham. He did have a touchdown yesterday. Like it's a 43-yard touchdown. I think.
Shout out to all of his fantasy owners. I'm still, a little weary of having receivers on that team, on my team, because you never know what kind of Baker is going to show up. But he looked pretty good last night. And I agree with you on Joe Burrow, though. I mean, it's just a tough putt when you're the first overall pick as a quarterback. You know you're going to get blasted. I mean, look what happened to poor David Carr.
Oh, no.
They just broke the young man.
They did.
But, he still has his good looks to fall back on. He's got a cushy NFL Network job, so he should be fine. But definitely rattled his confidence a little bit. So you're always kind of afraid about that with, like I said, first overall pick quarterbacks.
Yeah. And we do have a exciting, of course, weekend of NFL football. I think the big game that kind of everybody's keeping their eye on is the Patriots at the Seahawks.
I do want to see that.
That'll be a good game. That was kind of the biggest one that I noticed on the schedule. Rough sledding for both of our teams. Of course, my Chargers are going to be hosting the Chiefs, which great way to break in the new stadium is to give up 60 points probably. But then your team is also breaking in their new stadium against the Saints, which of course no easy task. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to play, so you at least got that going for you.
I still am not confident in the Raiders keeping up with the Saints, but we'll see. Would be nice to have some fans in there, but it is what it is. Just to open up the new stadium, I'm still excited to see it on TV. I've seen it completed. It's awesome. Yeah. But even the Rams Cowboys game last Sunday. Yes, there were no fans, but it was just cool to see a crazy stadium, brand new like that. I mean. The Raiders one is not going to be on that same level. It's still nice and shiny and really perfect considering plus where the Raiders have been playing in the Coliseum, running across second base down there at the 50-yard line. But the Rams Stadium is probably the only thing I would say that even comes close to Jerry World as far as just a marvel of you have to go there as a football fan. It just looks like a shrine to football. Because it's so impressive just looking at it. But I am excited, just to see the Raiders Stadium on TV. We'll get some nice aerial shots of the all-black glass on the outside. I love it. Right,
with the tall, well-lit buildings of the Strip behind it. I think that'll look good on TV.
Yeah, we're going to get some nice blimp shots there. provided by Goodyear or whoever else, MetLife. I don't know. You know, they always drag someone out.
Yeah.
Other games, just one or two I was interested in. The Cowboys, obviously, they should beat the Falcons, but
Sure.
if they go 0-2, just get ready for first take every day is going to be what's wrong with the Cowboys. Sports Center is going to be going off on them. All the talk shows. So I feel like they should bounce back, but if they don't, I'll be interested to hear from our resident Cowboys insider, Justin, on Monday. And we'll just kind of sort of get a sit rep on what's going on with the Cowboys.
Yep.
Hopefully we're talking to him in a better mood when they're 1-1. But if it's 0-2, it also promises to be very interesting. So
it could be entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, could be entertaining. So we'll see what happens there. Also, I mean, Dolphins, Bills, kind of interesting.
Could be fun.
I'm still just the Dolphins showed a little bit there. I think everyone's got the Bills sort of penciled in, but you know, Patriots did win that first game.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be sort of an interesting early game to watch. But yeah, Patriots Seahawks, I think, is the marquee game of the week. I would have to say for this week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would also kind of keep an eye, even though they kind of got worked in their first game. I do want to see how Houston bounces back, although it's still a tough test. I mean, Baltimore looked awesome in week 1. So that's one that I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on just to see kind of what the Texans show in this week. And also, speaking of football, I did just want to there we go, Jaime chiming in on Dallas there. I did have to pass this message along. I got this text kind of when we started here, but league owner Eric in our main fantasy league, good friend of the show, had him on a few times here. Eric wanted us to read something on air for him.
Okay.
Which is, and I quote, "Tong is a dumbass."
All right, there you have it. Tong is a dumbass.
Yeah, mostly he's talking about Tong complaining about facing the highest scoring team when Tong was like the 4th or 5th highest scoring team this week, not even the 2nd. So, you know, he just wanted to put that out there, kind of. And you know, look, anytime anybody craps on Tong, I think we're both kind of all for it here.
Yeah, and lest we forget, Tong was the person that made the bet with me to place my face on his family Christmas card. Just so happened to be the year he celebrated the birth of his first child. So all of his family has this card forever. They'll probably keep it, you know, because the baby. So,
Sure.
you know, I'm just circulating. Like all these houses, who knows how far and wide the family goes there. But I'll be there forever. So thank you, Tong. And maybe not the smartest decision.
Hey, you know what? What a gambler, though, right? What a gambler.
What a gambler. What a gambler. You're right up there with the Phil guy. I mean, Tong bets, you know, extra money he got back on his freezer that had a dent in it or something. And the Phil guy bets $45,000. But
you know, he's actually going to pull like a reverse Let It Ride where he's going to have to tell his grandchildren about you because you're on the card.
Yeah, he will have to explain that when the grandchildren come around. So hang on to that card because I want to you know, see what happens there going forward.
You will forever be in the Tran family legacy.
Yes. I think real quick, I don't know if we could check in with the fight doctor. We do have a fight night. We haven't.
We do.
You know, it's just been sort of fight nights or UFC on ESPN. We're just sort of working our way to the next big pay-per-view. But we do have a fight night. A couple interesting fights there. So I did want to get the fight doctor involved.
Yeah.
And you know what that means? We got to drag out the good old reliable intro.
Let's see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world.
It's time! Yes. Before we get started, though,
Nice.
I cannot stress this enough. Entertainment purposes only. Remember
Please
that.
remember that. If you take nothing else from our show, this has to be it.
Yes, because legally, I mean, we have to.
We really have to. We can't afford any lawsuits. More lawsuits.
We're operating on a hair-thin budget here.
No. But yeah, like Ronnie said, you know, we do got a fight night this Saturday. Of course, everything's building up. Next week we got the big fight in the middleweight division for the title, but we'll talk more about that next week. But we got a pretty decent fight night card this weekend. Of course, the main event, we got a welterweight fight between Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley. Both guys are top 5 in the welterweight division. Both guys have suffered losses to Kamaru Usman, the current champ, so they can't really afford any more losses and keep falling down. They really got to win this to just kind of stay up there in the title hunt. It's a weird fight. Woodley's not the most exciting fighter. He's kind of similar to Usman, and he'll use wrestling a lot, although I think he finishes fights a little bit more than Usman does. Covington, people just don't like him. He's
so there's that.
He's a good fighter, but he doesn't have the best reputation. I think in this one, I gotta go Covington. Woodley, he was the champ. He kind of looked unbeatable for a time until he got beat, and since then he just hasn't looked the same. So I do like Covington in that fight. But the two fights that I'm really interested in are, first of all, the co-main event. My guy, one of my absolute all-time favorites, Cowboy Donald Cerrone, taking on Nico Price. Cerrone, he's not the same Cowboy anymore, but I still love him to death. I mean, I've been a huge fan of his since the WEC days, pre-UFC. He's on a 4-fight losing streak, all pretty devastating losses. Nico Price, he lost his last fight, but both guys are just very exciting. Like, we don't want to go 3 rounds. That's kind of the style they are. Is like, let's just go out there and finish this. So I'm looking for an exciting fight out of that one. I am going to go with my heart. I'm going to go Cowboy. I haven't seen the odds on that one. I don't know if Nico Price is favored. I think he might be. But I'm going Cowboy in that one. I can't bet against him. He's just been one of my favorites for so long.
I'm going to check the line here real quick on that and see.
Yeah. If you could get that for me, that would be great.
16. Oh, this might be the opening line. I'll try to find the current one.
Well, then I'll just jump into the other fight that really piqued my interest. That's coming up here is Khamzat Chimaev taking on Gerald Meerschaert. Khamzat, most famously back in July when they were on Fight Island, won 2 fights in 2 different weight classes within a 10-day period for the UFC. Both just absolute dominating fashion. I mean, that second fight, he looked a lot like Khabib, just, that mauling style, take you down, throw that Dagestani handcuff on you, not let you up, and just beat on you until you're done, until you can't take it anymore. So he is, stepping up again. I mean, Meerschaert, God, that guy's been fighting for a long time. He's got 31 wins in his career. I think 22 or 23 of them by submission. So he, Khamzat is definitely stepping up in the competition level. So I'm curious to see how he does. I really like him in this one just because I really like that, that mauling style, that, again, just really aggressive wrestling, kind of working on positions, keeping you trapped with that handcuff and just beating you down until you can't take it anymore. So I'm going Chimaev in that one. That one, I imagine he's got to be a heavy favorite. I don't know if you have the line in front of you.
I have just an update. Cowboy is the underdog at plus 128 on the latest one that I could find. So
yeah, about even then.
Probably will get bet up a little bit. I mean, he is a favorite, but I think he still goes into the fight as a clear underdog, just considering the recent history. Yeah. But everyone likes to see Cowboy get out there, so always just like one of the all-time UFC guys, just like a lifer,
Oh yeah. He's got the record for most fights in the UFC, and I don't even think it's close. Like, he was a guy that when he first came in was fighting 6-7 times a year, which is unheard of. Like, he's just, I'll fight somebody and like, okay, like, when is my next fight? Like, let's go, Dana. Like, when's my next fight?
I'll do it. So I did
it. Exactly. In recent years, he's kind of toned it down a bit. Like, he's been taking some more losses recently, which it hurts to see. But again, he's still exciting. He's not, even though he's been losing by TKO, losing pretty vicious. It hasn't really changed his style. He still goes out there and goes for it. And again,
you can't say he's not game. I mean, he's like one of the all-time game fighters. Like, he's like, all right, just tell me where and when, and I'll do it.
And again, Nico Price is an exciting fighter too. Again, he's a guy that doesn't like to see fights go to the end. He's like, either I'm going to finish this or you're going to finish this, but we're not going 15 minutes. Right. So again, that one's going to be pretty exciting. So those are the 2 fights that really piqued my interest when I see it. I think overall it'll be a good card. There's some other familiar names. I saw Mackenzie Dern is fighting on the main card as well. A few other recognizable names. I think this will be a good one. Again, leading into the big title fight next weekend.
And once again, just before we get off that point,
as always,
please, entertainment purposes only.
Of course.
Do call the Fight Doctor, 1-900-FIGHT-DOCTOR for more detailed prognostications. But,
$5 for the first minute, $6 for each additional minute.
Each additional minute, yes.
Yeah.
So I do have to mention, though, I think this might be in relation to the previous point that we were talking about. Joining us now on the Tito Auto Body and Used Tires Celebrity Hotline, Tito Auto Body and Used Tires, 5162 University Avenue, City Heights home for all your used tires needs. And again, the Tito Auto Body guarantee is that you do not pick up your car until you pay for it. We have joining us on the program, Eric Moland.
Here we go.
Type of nap state or cocoon, I'm not sure.
He looks comfy.
Looking comfortable on a Friday night.
Yeah.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to join in to say Tong is whack in fantasy football, and that's pretty much what I want to say. And
Perfect.
I bet on my girl Big Mac because she always comes in oversized. Her opponents take it anyway, and she wins anyway. So
True.
what's up? That's all I want. Oh yeah, and Tong is whack.
And Tong is whack. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Eric, for the
Thank
call.
you, Eric.
Don't trade with Tong this year. Don't trade with Tong. Let him live with this terrible team that he drafted. If you look up and down his roster, it's bad, and make him live with it.
Plus, I mean, we all saw the kicker debacle at the draft, but and I think it was right before you called, but I always have this on deck again. The Christmas card that Tong will have to carry with him into eternity. So thank you, Tong, for making that ridiculous bet. But thank you, Eric, for calling in once again on the Tito Auto Body and Used Tires Celebrity Hotline. So there you have it, Tong, with the gauntlet dropped on his ass. We will see what happens. But always, nice to get a little smack talk going.
I like the idea
as we head into a weekend of fantasy football.
I like the idea of a league embargo on one of the owners.
There's a no trade clause with everyone. The rare owner's no trade clause. No, I'm not trading with that fool. He's a snake. I don't trust him. I think I actually have the let me see if I have it. Just for anyone that missed it, this was the travesty that was Tong trying to draft a kicker also in the 9th round and not even getting the right one on draft night.
Boom. Kicker. I don't know how you guys left them on the board.
I don't know why you picked that one.
Kansas City, dude, they're going to move the ball like crazy.
You picked not Kansas City,
Just
dude.
pick the New Orleans kicker, fool. Oh, shit, that was the wrong one. I'll trade whoever gets Buckner right now. God damn it.
Legendary.
Oh, Tong. Never change, Tong. Never change. But I hope you get last place. I wish you ill. I don't even know you and I hate your guts.
Hey. I wish all your hot tubs are cold.
I want all hot tubs cold. I see someone with shoes. Why do you have shoes, man?
Well, I did want to just kind of before we get out of here, since being that we are the, of course, NASCAR show of record on the Quarantine Network.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Just give a quick update here. We do have it's the last race of the first round of the playoffs this weekend. It's a night race in Bristol tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Plus, 4 guys that are going to be cut. Pretty much their year will be over on a short track, so you can imagine there will be some fireworks there. But Harvick and, of course, the local boy Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski, they're already guaranteed through. Kind of the guys that are on the cut list right now, William Byron, who's down 3 points, Cole Custer down 8 points, Matt DiBenedetto. I always struggle
know who
saying
you're
his last
talking
name.
about. Yeah, that fool.
Is down 25 points, and Ryan Blaney's down 27 points. So, a couple of those guys just pretty much have to win to get in. So, again, that should make for a pretty exciting race. I mean, it's just nice that, our guy, Kevin Harvick, is already through no matter what happens. But I think that'll be, again, expect a lot of fireworks on a very short track and some desperate racers.
And here's the top 10, just looking at the grid. No real surprises here. I mean, these guys have been in it. Logano qualified second. Not really a surprise. I mean, he is good. Just everyone hates him. But you recognize most of the names here. I mean, these are, top dogs, and they're still just sort of doing what they've been doing all season. So kind of interesting to see, Harvick and Hamlin right there in the middle of that top 10. I'm sure they're going to be in it to the end, barring some, whatever goes on. People crash, cars break, whatever. But should have a good little race there, and I'll try to catch as much of that as I can as well. But definitely looking forward to going to the next round. And then, yes, there's still the points, but, as it kind of weans down into who's actually going into the having a chance to win the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, that should be a pretty exciting race. Also, before we get out here this weekend, I did just want to say a couple big Premier League games this weekend. On Sunday, we got the battle between Chelsea and Liverpool, last year's champions, and a team that a lot of people have good expectations for this year. Chelsea, I think I saw a good number of people have them going third or fourth this year, so that should be a pretty exciting matchup. And then on Monday, Wolverhampton and Man City. Man City, who's a lot of people's pick to win, even as good as Liverpool were last year. A lot of people are going with Man City this year. Wolverhampton, kind of one of those teams that just sprung up out of nowhere a couple seasons ago and has been, hanging top 6, top 7 for the last couple of years.
Yeah, they really punched up, and it seems like they got so many Portuguese guys on that team, but they're surprisingly good. Like, if you're sleeping on Wolves, you're sadly mistaken. I mean, Man City, yes, is one of the super teams out there, but Wolves could give them a little trouble. We're not talking about, big home field advantage here or anything. So,
no, but they're a very strong defensive team. That's one thing that really stands out about them is their defense is always really good. Very well ran, and of course, West Ham and Arsenal. But Arsenal, Arsenal, just do your normal thing, and I'll just hope that it works out for the best for the Hammers. Yeah, not going to be good. I mean, there's kind of rumors going on this week that there is an American investment group that's been putting in bids to take over for them. God, I hope so, but right now it's just rumors, so who knows? Anyone with money, please just come in, because we need it. You got a strong back, we could use you. Vince McMahon, we've already seen Triple H as a Hammer fan. Vince, buy in on this. Let's go. The ball's in your court, Vince. Tony, the Khans own Fulham. They own AEW. They are your rival. Jump in on this. So that's what we're looking forward to in the Premier League. Also, Lampard's been kind of cagey about whether or not Pulisic is ready to play or not, but I hope he does. Just to see, that the full Chelsea setup against Liverpool, which is stacked. And they got Thiago today, of course. Yeah, great. Yeah, so that's awesome. But still, I mean, always fun to get up and watch the Premier League on Saturday and Sunday. So we got a great weekend coming. I mean, really looking forward to the U.S. Open as it gets more and more diabolical. Playoffs going on. Just anything you could want. Just the last thing I want to say is, Randy, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Randy. It wasn't personal. But Tyler, anything else you got before I get out of here in shame and cry myself to sleep? No, everybody, just enjoy the weekend. Lots of good sports. Enjoy the weekend. Stick around here. We got the book club for TV with Patrice coming up right now. Sorry for running over, Patrice. We're going to get out right now. Have a good weekend, guys. We love you. As always, keep the fire. Keep the fire.